Hey everyone, Gill Gross here. I want to break down the match point that Matteo Berrettini lost against Andy Murray in the first round of the Australian Open. Murray winning in a fifth set super tiebreak. Biggest win for Murray since hip surgery at a major. This was a big one. And mentally, tremendous effort after losing a 2-sets-to-love lead. Berrettini ties it up. And Matteo, so difficult to beat in fifth sets. 7-1 coming into this match. 2-0 in fifth set tiebreaks. Considering all of the heartbreaking losses that Murray has suffered recently, the issues with the physicality in some of the long matches that he's played, what a win. What a win for Andy. But it was almost another one of those heartbreaking losses. He was a point away. So I want to delve into this point. There are a couple things at play here. Murray has kind of a short chip backhand that he plays as a drop shot, but it's not a good one. It goes much too deep in the court. Berrettini is able to cover it easily. He gets up to the ball with his backhand drive grip. And there you see the contact point, and he dumps this into the middle of the net. Middle in two senses. Middle as in it was like a foot under the tape, so it was vertically in the middle of the net. It was also horizontally in the middle of the net, basically right where Andy Murray was standing. So in more ways than one, this was an ugly shot. And given the circumstances, it is easy to write this off singularly as, well, Matteo Berrettini just absolutely choked, was overcome by nerves, and that is what created this shot. And while I believe that there is a lot of truth to the idea that nerves were the determining factor in what happened on this shot, I do think that there are plenty of other things that are at play. And rarely are nerves in a vacuum, right? So if Berrettini were hitting a +1 forehand or a first serve, the shots that are very, very comfortable to him, well, then maybe the nerves would have been conquered. Okay? So it's not always as simple. But also Andy does something interesting here, something good, where it kind of looks like, and this comes across better on video, obviously, but it looks like he might kind of stop in the middle here. He slows his momentum, and then he makes a late move. After the split step right here, he makes a late move towards the line to his right. And I believe from this frame to this frame, Berrettini, out of the corner of his eye, sees Murray move that direction. And the only explanation for Matteo missing that badly, and that aimlessly, okay, and that's the key. If you watch Berrettini hit this shot, it's not clear that he has a target. And I'm pretty confident that what happened here is Berrettini did have a target. It was down the line. He was going down the line. He had committed to down the line. And again, from here to here, take back to contact point, he changed his mind. He saw Murray and he changed his mind. And there is a certain point of no return. Some players are pretty talented at holding a shot for an extra second and, you know, looking to see where their opponent goes. Berrettini's backhand, it's not at that level. And by the way, not a lot of shots are. But there's a point of no return where once you pick your target, you have to follow through with it. And let's face it, Berrettini, if he does go down the line, if he just sticks to his guns and goes to his original target, he's in a really good position to win this point. I mean, based on the proximity, if Berrettini goes straight at Andy, which you can see by the time the ball takes flight, Murray has that line covered. So it was a really good late move by Murray where it looked like the line was open. He made it look like it was open, and then he took it. It was good. But if Berrettini just went down the line anyway here, Murray's probably not making that reflex volley. And if he does make the reflex volley, Berrettini is on top of the net to respond to that reflex volley. So from Matteo's perspective, you have to stick to your guns and not change your target. Just go down the line. You're fine, even though Andy's going that direction. For Andy, it's a good move, but I also think there's another thing at play here, which is a technical thing. If you watch Berrettini, you'll notice that, yes, he mixes up his backhand. Sometimes he drives, sometimes he slices. But once he moves inside the court, once he moves inside the baseline, he heavily favors his backhand slice because he controls it better. Much more precise shot. And the closer you get to net, the more delicate you have to be because you're closer to the baseline, right? So you have to be more delicate. The precision matters more. You're inherently taking a lot of time away, so you don't necessarily need to hit the ball hard. You just need to be precise with it and accurate, and that's what matters most. So that's why Berrettini, wisely, when he's inside the court, he slices. So this is not a comfortable position for Berrettini to hit a drive backhand from the service line. From this court position, he almost always slices. And that two-hander, when he drives it, he likes pace and he likes to kind of drive it pretty flat. He likes to redirect pace and drive it flat. And this shot is the opposite. There's zero pace for him to work with, and this is a shot that you have to roll a little bit because the contact point is relatively low. You're in close quarters with the net, not a lot of space between your contact point and the opposite baseline. So you have to be, again, you have to show some finesse here and some touch. Berrettini's drive backhand, there's no finesse there. It's not a shot that has finesse. And he has a stiff left wrist, and the whole shot is stiff, but it's a stiff left wrist. And that's why Berrettini struggles to get topspin on the ball, and he's going to struggle in this position from the service line, from a low contact point, to roll that mid-court backhand properly. So essentially what I'm saying is, while I believe nerves likely came into play, and I think if Berrettini was completely relaxed, he would have just gone down the line and taken his chances with Murray's assumed reflex volley. So the decision-making there that malfunctioned likely came down to nerves, but there are more factors at play that made this miss a lot less surprising than it looks at face value. Murray, though, very encouraging stuff. I will say, to add on to this, nothing to do with the match point, loved how Andy served out wide against Matteo. 74% out wide on the deuce, 76% out wide on the ad to get the big man moving. Let's get him off the court. And on the +1 ball, we can make sure that we're going to keep him on the move and just attack his mobility by dragging him off the court with the wide serve straight away. That was very important. And then in the tiebreak, and two of the biggest points of the match in the 10-point tiebreak, Murray went to a pattern that was working time and time and time again in this match. Wide serve on the deuce, return comes cross court, Murray hits his forehand approach shot down the line, and now what does Berrettini have? An on-the-run backhand passing shot. Not his thing, not his bread and butter. That's advantage Andy. So I really thought that Murray, who's really into these patterns and stuff, it really showed in this match. Very, very, very tactically sound, and he played very clean in that 10-point tiebreak and in the first two sets. So good stuff. Ending on kind of the tournament moving forward, and I want to make a larger point about Murray also. Andy's been great in first rounds, really good. Okay. He is in the last two seasons. Last year he was 16-4 in first rounds. The year before he was 13-3. These are great win percentages. And I also want to remind you, his ranking has not been good. So it's not as if he's a top seed playing easy competition in these first rounds. He's not. In fact, a lot of the times he's playing stiff competition. So even post-hip surgery, you've never wanted to play Andy Murray in the first round. He's always played well in the first round. He has worn down in the past. Past 2 years, he has not been able to maintain that early round level moving forward. Murray has said that his fitness is improved from the last couple years. He has said that he is in better physical shape. Well, after a grueling 5-setter against Berrettini here, that was about 4.5 hours, that is going to be put to the test. We're about to see if Andy Murray in 2023 is a different animal from a physicality perspective. Let's see what he's got these next couple rounds. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.